Again, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JBS review of the hit show Stargirl, showing on DC Universe and the CW. So this is part 2 to the last episode, part 1, and I know you all who checked part 1 out, I told you the way that show was going to end was going to be crazy. That fight at the end between Shiv and Stargirl, amazing. Again, I said it when I saw it, it's one of the best fights that the CW universe, the Arrowverse, has put on, and that episode just lives up to everything humanly possible you could want from introducing that character into this universe with Stargirl. But let's get into part 2 of that episode. And in this one, after Courtney gets into trouble following an unexpected fight, Pat decides they need to come clean to Barbara. Sydney takes heat from her father after a plan to take matters into her own hand goes awry. So as you know, granted, we talked about last episode, I do everything spoiler free because I never want to ruin anything, but this episode starts off with Pat attempting to cover up what happened to Courtney, and he does it by wrecking his car and staging a car crash to cover up all of Courtney's injuries, so it's easy to explain. At this point of it, as we know with every Stargirl episode, with the beginning of it, they give you like a nice little clip on what you're going to get in this episode. And in this one, we see him telling Barbara about the car accident and covering up for everything that Courtney did. And at these moments, especially in this episode, I think we get the more father figure of Pat. It works very well. His conversations with Courtney, his conversations with Barbara, clearly his love for her and how much he wants to protect her because he knows she's kind of in over her head. We kind of get all of that at the beginning of the episode, including him having reservations of hiding everything that's going on from Barbara, and him telling Courtney that they've gotten to the point where they need to come clean up Barbara. Like, everyone else could think this is a car accident, but your mom can't think this is a car accident. We have to let her know what's going on. And Courtney again persuades him not to do so, for great reasons, of her saying we need to find out who the Injustice Society is before we do all of this, make this town safe before we let her know what's going on. And if you've been paying attention to the series, that in the best way humanly possible they want that to turn out, it kind of is a bad thing because her boss is currently the leader of the Injustice Society. So it's a horrible thing to do. But after that, we get a conversation between Shiv and the Dragon King about her actions and her fighting Stargirl, because Shiv thinks she's done a beautiful thing and the Dragon King does a masterful job of knocking her down a peg again, to explain to her, basically, to use an old saying from Jack Reacher, if anyone's ever seen that movie, you seeing the forest before the trees. Like, you can't do that. And I think that's her thought process of it, of her being able to see Stargirl. She fought Stargirl, and she knows who Stargirl is, but in all honesty, she's ruined other plans by letting Stargirl into the secret lair of where the Injustice Society is. Kind of backfires on everything. And then their heated discussion between these two, it is clear at this point that Cindy did something to her mom. Again, I'm not big on the comic books. I know some people are big on comic books. You can actually tell me what happened and what she actually does to her mom, because at this point, I'm pretty sure it's in the comics. But they keep on alluding to that in this episode, and in the prior episode, they alluded to it. So you kind of wonder what it is that she did. But in this situation, we have Dragon King informing her that she messed up so big that it's a chance that she could never join the Injustice Society of America. Again, very good conversation. It kind of puts Sydney in her place. The Dragon King tells her at the end, when she's coming a bit belligerent, don't make me take off my mask. And that stops her steal. It's a great scene, great setup. And then after these two very emotional and heated discussions, we get the rest of the JSA, who are extremely mad at what happened to Courtney, but they come up with a scheme to find out who Sydney is and who her father is. Now, in this scene, we get the best of Beth. Again, I said it for a while now, how irritating I find this character. But in this episode, I think she has her moment. Like every character so far in this series has had her moment. Beth has her moment here. And it works really, really well when Beth pulls off her moment here of just telling Tyler, hey, hurt people, basically. And she didn't say it in those words, but that's the gist of what she was telling him. And it comes across as very powerful. It comes across as very needed for this show to help bring him back into the fold. After that, we get hijinks time of trying to find out who Sydney is, going to her house and trying to discover everything. But the beautiful part is, while we get the team attempting to figure out what's going on with Sydney and who her father is and things of that nature, we get Sydney arriving at Courtney's house to supposedly check on her. Now, that's as much as I'm going to say on that one, because that's something that I think works really well with the show of this belief of Courtney that no one knows she's Stargirl. The belief of Sydney is she just wants to find out who Stargirl is. And their little conversation here is great. It's wonderful how the teenage parts are played up on this show so well. And then after that, we get our second big fight. If you like the first fight, you'll love the second fight. They hold no punches back against each other, and that's what makes when these two come together so great, is that no punches are hold. It is a knockdown. It's a, as JR would say from WWE, it is a slobber knocker every time these two characters get together on screen. And this is no change. And we also get another reveal in the episode that I'm not going to say anything about, but it's clearly something we've known as a whole. Anyone who watched the show, you knew it was coming, but it finally comes into fruition this episode. It's going to be something great to see. Again, this is another great episode for Stargirl. Amazingly, for a part 2, it still feels at times like a filler episode, but it's a great filler episode. Or, not filler, let's say a legitimate sequel to it, where you kind of wanted, if they could have just put these two episodes together and showed you in like a special episode, it would have been great. But, you know, you can't get into the second episode really without getting into the first episode. So it's clearly a sequel type of episode, but it works so well for this universe. Again, these young actors and actresses are knocking this out the park. Luke Wilson is proving over and over again how great of a everyday man character he can be. So, this has been JVS Stargirl. It drops Monday on DC Universe, Tuesday on CW. Please check it out. You'll love it, because I love it. That's the way we're going to go with this now. Peace, people.